check my notes.
Hey, fans of the Monday Movie Club. This week, Annie chose American Pie from 1999, which is number 2,491 on the Franken list. Not bad, because there's like 6,000 movies on there. I am Frank Gaffney. With us is Don McLean and his American Pie. Mark Wotitz-Gartner has a picture up. I'm not surprised. Cringer and Goldfork.
Hi.
Are you reading email? What were you looking up there?
I'm looking for my text of notes. I just found it.
And Annie King in the kitchen where she belongs. In the debris of
The
4th of
debris.
July. Okay, Annie, why American Pie?
Yeah, I've heard about it and people have
Oh my
mentioned
gosh,
it,
you've never seen it?
and I never saw it.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I said it has to go on my list then because I've never seen it.
Wow. I am gobsmacked.
You should be thankful I don't do that.
Put on stuff that you
I
want to
haven't
see that
seen
you've
yet.
never seen.
Is there
Well,
anything
there's a
that you
lot
haven't
of
seen,
movies from
Joel?
this century you haven't seen, Joel.
There are, yes, but I'm talking
I've
about
only not seen 5 of them.
well, that's the New York Times list.
Here's the plot. A riotous and raunchy exploration of the most eagerly anticipated and most humiliating rite of adulthood known as losing one's virginity. In this hilarious lesson in life, love, and libido, a group of friends, fed up with their well-deserved reputations as sexual no-hitters, decide to take action. This is right from the interwebs. I didn't
Yeah,
make it up.
it sounds like it.
And this is certainly Porky's, I guess, from Mark's generation. When he was, he was watching the Scrambled channel just to see a boob, I'm sure.
100%.
Yeah.
No sock.
That's
though.
all I could
That's
think of
weird.
was you home in the Bronx, like looking like, wait, I think that's
I once watched PBS because I thought there was going to be some nudity on it for like 2 hours. It was boring as
and
hell.
and I'm sure that's when you started compiling your best boobs in the movies list.
It was around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
pretty rough.
that's the difference between us. Mark has a best boobies list, and my Franken list is the greatest movies of all time.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the greatest penises.
I did too.
Yeah.
There is a list out there, people.
Okay. So I do I did make some observations. Now I definitely saw this one in the movie theaters, and the laughter was so great that you couldn't even hear some of the lines. It was like people were laughing like crazy people. And then watching it again, hearing the other lines, I was like, oh, okay. So did not remember that Natasha Lyonne was in this movie, and
I know.
she was
I love
great.
her now.
And the cup of beer with the sperm in it, it was beautifully timed. It really was, but just a little homophobic. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of men out there who have tasted their own sperm. And then the Harold and Kumar guy was there. Was this
Yeah.
before that? I'm assuming.
John Cho, he coined MILF, and yeah, this was before Harold and Kumar.
Okay. And Eugene Levy, hysterical. Nothing worse than a helpful dad. All the awkwardness was adorable. And that manual, that was pretty clever stuff too. And of course the classic foreign exchange student shows up. And then when he said, God bless the internet, made me totally think of Avenue Q. The internet is for porn, of course.
Sure.
It is. And again, Allison Hannigan, so adorable. This one time at band camp,
Yeah.
we used that line so many times.
Oh, sure.
Anytime somebody starts to tell a story, one time I always say it. And it's one time at band camp. And that she flipped the narrative. And
Yeah.
she was the one pursuing him. Great. Chris Klein is definitely giving Keanu vibes. That's all I could hear in my head, that he was Keanu.
He's so adorable.
And then of course leaving lacrosse to sing with that was a very nice romantical gesture. And is this how Glee got started? Because with the Glee Club there and the thing, and they were like, "Oh, this could be a show." I think.
It definitely had Glee vibes for me.
Yeah. And Jennifer Coolidge is so normal.
Yeah.
She's like a regular actress. I'm like, what? What's
Yeah.
that about? And it really did end on some very sweet notes. But it's such a boys' movie. Good Lord, the girls are horrible in this, treated horribly. It's terrible. Um, 3 stars for me. It's an honest exploration, really, of teenage sexuality and the horrible high school hierarchy. Terrible. And the crude humor even made me smile at times, even now. And the characters were relatable for sure, and the camaraderie with them was very nice. I liked it. 3 stars for me.
Had you ever?
But
Oh, you just said you saw it in the theater. I'm sorry.
I saw what?
Never mind.
I had seen it in
Yeah.
1997. This was only my second time watching it, and I thought it was I liked it. All right, cool. But Aim, didn't you feel a little misogyny going on?
Oh yeah, but it's nothing like my teenage years coming of age movie, Porky's and Fast Times at Ridgemont High, both movies which I loved, especially Fast Times, which was much worse than this 1999 movie, which, thank you, Annie, I too had never seen because we were both 33-year-old women, and I think we were like, yeah, it looks ridiculous. But so I have a couple of notes that I took. Let's see where I started. At least, oh, okay. Some of the lines really were very clever and much more well written than I expected. Like, at least I know what third base feels like. You're just a bat boy. That line is fabulous. There are definitely some clever moments. I love the line, at least, never mind. Also, the use of music, like with the adorable Jason Biggs' slow motion walking to the girl he wanted to ask out to
Yes.
Anastasia at last.
That introduced me to that song, by the way.
Really?
Yes. I
Oh,
was
funny.
24. I had never heard that song before. I love
Alright.
that scene.
More Jason.
Me too, and I wasn't 24 at the time. I never heard that song.
You had never
before
heard
this
that song?
No, not before this movie.
Oh,
What?
wow. One more Jason Biggs love. God, he was adorable and so good. The acting really was much better than it deserved to be in a movie like this. Everybody really was very good. When he was proving he got a 740 on the SAT verbal and just threw out words, copious, verisimilitude. He just kept saying words. It was very, very cute. And when one of the kids was talking about Shaolin Masters and he was putting on the voice, but then his lips continued talking after, it was very, very cute. I remember always doing that when we were younger, doing Japanese movie. I was enjoying the movie until Nadia went into Jim's bedroom, took off her clothes, got into bed, and started masturbating. No one in the world would do that. And
That's the boy fantasy.
Yes.
That's the fantasy.
All right,
That's
I'll
what
give
I
you that.
meant.
And of course,
Well,
it had to.
she was a foreign exchange student. You don't know what they're gonna.
I want to see what she got exchanged for.
And of course, he covered up the camera when he came back and never looked back at the camera right in front of him to see that it wasn't covered anymore. So it was really kind of Stretch Armstrong. And also when poor what's his nuts had to like suddenly go to the bathroom in the girls' room, I was like, okay, this movie is just. But yeah. And final note, only in the 20th century would a 12-year-old in a movie say, "You guys gonna fuck, aren't you? Fuckers, fuckers, fuckers." I'm like, only in the 20th century.
By the way, that kid then got his own basic American Pie movie, one of those direct to video ones
Oh,
that
really?
Joel was talking about. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Hopefully, when he was 18.
Sure. I definitely went into it hoping to like it, and I liked it a lot more than I expected to, except for that 15, 20-minute section. All the rest of it was like, okay, this movie actually isn't that bad. I would give it a very strong 3 stars. It was fun, and I can see why it was such a monster hit. I mean, it was like I
For
said
the
last
genre, it's
the genre.
very, very well written, very well acted.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
wait, I mean, I've seen some really, really horrible stuff where it's like D-list actors who can't even act, and it's just boobs, and it's horrible. So this is
Yeah, but a lot of these kids, this was really their first thing. So it was, they really found these
But
great kids.
having Eugene Levy and Jennifer Coolidge and a few other seasoned actors in there really gave it legitimacy.
And I love Eugene
I don't
Levy's
think Jennifer
character.
Coolidge was that well known at this
No,
time.
she wasn't. She wasn't.
No, but she was a good actor.
Eugene, certainly. Eugene,
And she was, her and Eugene Levy are in like the same troupe or whatever with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, Mark, continue talking.
Oh, let me go to
This one is right up your alley. I don't know why you didn't choose it.
I kind of told Annie last year when she had that Undeclared.
Yeah.
I was like, if you're gonna do a teen sex comedy, do American Pie.
Ah,
And then you did. I didn't know if you were really going to do that.
That worked out great.
Yeah. I've seen this many times. It holds a special place in my heart because I saw it over a national CPA training week when I was 24.
Oh my God.
And during that week, I made a lot of friends, including a guy. It was the second year in a row that me and this one guy from North Carolina were in the same training week, and we become best friends. We talk every week to this day. We
Wow.
joke that he's the other woman, with me and Danielle, and I also hooked up with a hot Asian chick uh, from Hawaii that year. So, and we all watched the movie together. Somebody rented it in our room. So and it was like the only week that I was actually cool. It was like 4 years of college all in one week while watching this movie, which was high school, but still kind of like a college experience. So it was, I expect my stars are going to be the highest here among this because it really did
Yeah,
just,
interrupt for 1 second, Mark.
yeah.
I have to kind of imagine, had you picked a different movie, what this discussion would have been like.
I didn't pick the movie. What do you mean?
Oh, not Annie picking the movie for us. Whoever picked the movie for you and that group of
Yeah.
people to watch on
Right.
that training mission. Had it been something else, this would be
Could
a
have been
whole.
Amadeus. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
Right,
that
right.
Hawaiian chick wouldn't have been as hot.
Um, so now on to the actual movie. What a shame. Tara Reid was really cute before all the drugs.
Mm.
And of course, this introduced the world to MILF and this one time at band camp. I love the Bic Runga song "Sway" featured toward the end when everyone was at Stifler's party. Eugene Levy and his segues into sex talks with Jim were just fantastic and awkward and perfect for this movie. Um, I'm not normally a fan of bathroom humor, but I got to tell a story that when I made Danielle watch this when we were living together in the Bronx about 20 years ago, so before we moved here, and the whole "can't hold it" when what's his name was about to go to the bathroom in the girls' bathroom. I had to wait 5 minutes and then rewind it like three times because Danielle was laughing ridiculously hysterical. So it does hit for some people. Um, some of the grosser parts are less enjoyable now as an extremely mature and sophisticated 50-year-old. So I didn't enjoy it as much as I did way back, 20 years or more ago. But I still thoroughly enjoy this, and I really do find it to be the best of the raunchy genre. I do like old school, and the two granddaddies are Porky's and
Fast
oh my God,
Times. Fast
no,
Times.
no, oh my God, Animal House to
Oh.
me that was 78. That was like the first real college crazy raunchy movie. And I enjoy all of them, but this to me was definitely better written, and had some heart. And like you said, I mean, it had the Glee Club. I'd never even and watching it with Danielle, she was like, "Yeah, that's kind of what I did," which I didn't know really existed. I thought it was just made up for this movie. So for me, I'm
Wait,
gonna
so
go
Danielle made out with the cute guy in the Glee Club?
sure. She has stories there,
This one time in Glee Club.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go 3 1/3 stars. It's I know I really enjoy it, but I mean for the genre, you kind of have to level out at a certain point. You can't. I'm not gonna go 3 1/2 or more for this.
Right,
Right.
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 And I would definitely watch it again if I had to. I mean, it's not like I'd be like, oh, I'm not watching that again. It was
Right.
fun. And
Well, I think
you both touched on kind of towards the end where they all realized this was the best time of their lives. They were great friends, and that was a very sweet moment that you would
yeah.
not expect in this movie.
Even
Yeah.
between what's his name and Tara Reid when they're like, that happens, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
We're happy, we're in love, but we're going to different schools and we're
Right.
going to move apart. So, and I do want to say though that also obviously, do I enjoy seeing Shannon Elizabeth topless, of course, but that whole scene to me was more comedic than anything. It wasn't just TNA, and to me the group. Holy shit, over and over and over
Yeah,
again.
yeah, that was cute.
And his eyes looking at her between her legs, not showing anything. It was for comedy, and to me, it really was perfect. Even now, even we both were cracking up at it when we
Yeah.
watched it this week.
Well, I mean the duo that directed this movie, their next movie was a great movie called About a Boy with what's his
Hugh Grant.
nuts?
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant. And that
Good choice.
movie is just fabulous. No teen sex in that movie. All right, Don McClain, give us your 8 minute and 32-second version of American Pie.
I'll give you a shorter version than that. I'll give you the theatrical cut, not the extended version.
Oh, okay.
Um, American Pie, it comes at a time in history of this specific genre that things are on the cusp of changing. So it's kind of at the end of one era of it and the beginning of another.
Well, what you mean, like the Porky's era
Yeah,
went
the
into
Porky
this
thing,
one?
which had kind of fizzled out by that point for the most
Right.
part anyway. But you have all
So
these
they were reviving a genre.
well, are attempting to. So there's something about Mary comes along around the same time, and
The year before.
and then the genre starts kind of changing a little bit into more of these teenage rom-coms without the raunchy sex, and the raunchy sex moves into other types of comedies. The nice thing about this film is that it does have a heart. The characters are not as
Wait, it does have a heart in addition to its heart on.
yes, true. As honestly, it's been a while since I've seen Porky's, but you don't really care about.
Oh, wait, let me write that down.
What?
2026 and Porky's. Okay, go.
And Fast Times.
We're adding Porky's because I'm not adding Porky's. You don't really care that much about the characters and what they're trying to do. It's just you're there for the laughs, which may have been much greater in the 80s than they would play today. Whereas this film, being closer to today, there's still a couple of problematic moments, but I think that the movie eventually rises above them. Most of them are in the first 10 15 minutes, and then it moves on, and you start to care about all the characters, even the obnoxious ones, like Stifler.
Stifler actually grows, and
Yeah.
know this. His character actually becomes a lot more sympathetic as the movies go on.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see, you look at this cast and where have they all gone at this point? And I feel like all of them should have had bigger careers than they've had. And not to say that they've disappeared in any stretch of the imagination. They're all still out there working, but none of them have had like that big break they all should have had, except maybe, Allison Hannigan.
Allison Hannigan, exactly.
Buffy and
How I Met
Natasha
Your
Lyonne.
Mother.
Well, Natasha Lyonne's having a great renaissance right now with Poker Face and being
of course.
Joan Rivers in a new biopic.
And Tara Reid is back in rehab.
Right, well, actually, Mark, Tara Reid showed up in an episode of Ghosts. So you need to watch that show. It's a funny show. I highly recommend it to everybody. And you can't use memes from it unless you know what you're talking about. So,
hey, she also showed up in all the Sharknadoes, so that's not a reason to watch anything.
No, I know that, but Ghosts has other reasons. But she's in an episode. It's pretty funny. Anyway, there's not much else I can say about the film. It did spawn its own franchise that kind of gets progressively meh.
Desperate.
They don't get
American Reunion was it leveled up because the third one, American Wedding, was kind of like the worst one in the series. So it was actually
they're all around the same level. When you get to the direct-to-video movies, they're just kind of like they're straining to figure out where they're going with things. As Mark said, the first direct-to-video movie, Bandcamp, features Stifler's younger brother, played by a different actor, and the only people who are back are Eugene Levy for some weird reason, and the guy that plays Sherman. So
the Shermanator.
The Shermanator, and I think they're the only two like continuing characters in most of those. But this one, it's I hadn't seen it in about a decade. It's still a fun movie. I really enjoyed most of it. A couple of things kind of struck me the wrong way, but that's how the times change and movies change. So I'm going to give it a solid 3 stars.
Hey, Annie, we're on a 3-star binge here. What did you think? Annie?
Yeah, sorry, I have to mute.
Oh, okay.
I agree. I was anticipating just hating it. And as I'm watching, I'm like, oh, it's really not that bad. There was some definite cringe-worthy moments and scenes, and I was like, oh, this is going to be so bad, and I was like, this never happens.
Yeah. But it mostly redeems itself.
Like an Eastern European woman taking off all her clothes in your bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when he said like, oh, he sent it to the entire student body, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
And just so you guys are aware, in all the American Pies, that's the through line where Jim has a very embarrassing moment,
Yeah.
usually sexually related, where he's naked or whatever, and he gets caught doing something that happens over and over again.
Yeah, I kind of remember a see-through pot cover.
That was in the fourth one, and it was a
Yeah.
prosthetic penis, I believe.
No, it
Yeah.
was his penis.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was him.
Okay.
He very much said it was him.
I'll take your word on that.
yeah. In this day and age, you'd be like in so much trouble. Forget like they wouldn't just be laughing at you in school. You couldn't go back to school. It was,
Yeah, no, that would be the end of it for sure.
yeah.
But it
So
was cute to see those 1999 computers and programs.
Yeah.
And a webcam, that's not
Yeah.
that different today.
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Okay,
yeah. There were some very like, ugh, and the beer and just putting it down and like
The constant movement of that cup just before, I thought that was so well done. So
Yeah.
It
clever.
was.
Would have kept
Yes.
going.
You're waiting for it. You're waiting
Yeah.
for it. Yeah.
And
You
how
know
are they
it's
going to
coming.
stop this person from drinking it now?
Yeah.
Cute.
So yeah, now I can also use the one time at band camp. So yay for me. Now I can use that and know what it's about. So
Funny.
yeah, but I would go with a solid 3. It all worked out. It all worked out, and definite had Glee vibes for me with that.
I mean, you know, Glee's a decade after this, so
Yeah, I was like, they totally ripped it off this movie. You know?
Yeah, I mean these kids are a great bunch of kids, really. They
Yeah.
really are very good. I liked all of them, so it
Yes.
was fun.
What I didn't expect was for the band girl to like jump him.
Jump his bones,
Yeah.
and then she knew. that
Yeah.
was
What's my
great.
name? Say my name, bitch.
That
Yeah, say
flute
my name,
line
baby.
was like, oh my God.
Oh, did
Yeah.
you not know that was coming?
No. I had no
yeah.
idea her character does a 180 like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And yeah, say my name, bitch was a popular phrase with us for a while too.
and honestly, if you have not seen the 3 sequels featuring this cast, they are worth watching.
Yeah.
It's good. They don't get better than this, but they don't get too much worse than this either. It's a nice through line to see these characters grow and go
Yeah.
through college and then marriage and then, you know, getting back together. I was the third film is missing like half the cast.
And Stifler, I felt like was over the top stupid in that one.
Yeah.
It was the worst of the 4, but
Yes.
I agree with you, Joel. If you enjoyed this enough, you will enjoy all the 3 actual sequels. Absolutely.
What's
Yeah.
the second one called? The third one's Wedding, right?
It's American Pie 2. That's an easy one. And and then Wedding and Reunion.
Yeah.
Okay. But they're probably not on any streaming anyway.
Probably
Just come
not.
over.
Just Mark will watch them.
I have them all on DVD. I don't have the reunion, but we could find that.
I don't know, Mark. She's not Hawaiian.
Nor is she hot. Oh,
Or
I did wonder, Mark, did you have such a pack in high school?
Did I have what?
A
Such a
pack, that
pack.
group of friends like that.
Oh, I had sure. It's funny. I have a weird mishmash of like grade school and high school friends. I have no friends from college. I was a loser in college. But grammar school, I had a lot of friends. High school had a lot of friends, and they've kind of all mishmashed. And with other friends who had friends from their high school, we're all kind of friends. So yeah, during my late high school and college years, I was out all the time with 2 different groups of friends that sometimes commingled.
Right, but did you have a pact? P-A-C-T?
Oh,
Oh, I think you said a
pack.
pack, like a pack of friends.
No,
I
no,
was
Lose your
like,
virginity?
you got to get to this answer eventually.
Yeah.
no,
No,
and
lose your
without
virginity by the end of high school.
no, I was
You in
offered
high
actually.
school?
I know people would joke about knowing me today, but I was offered and said no. I actually wanted to wait until I was in love. I know it's weird, but
Aw,
Yeah, stupid is that?
I not right.
it's not stupid, Mark.
Oh my
Thank you.
gosh, it's stupid.
Amy, just so you know, the sequels are all streaming on Stars.
I don't have stars.
Who the hell has
Oh,
stars?
you do.
Somebody does. All right, so American Pie is not available. Well, it's on Stars.
It's on
Oh,
Stars,
actually,
apparently.
The
no.
first one.
No, the
Not
first
the
I
first
just
one.
looked it up. The first one's actually on Peacock right now, but
Oh.
the other three are on Stars.
It wasn't a week ago.
Well,
Yeah, no.
that's what happened.
July 1st.
so weird.
July
July 1st.
1st. July 1st.
All right, so all right, so you can watch American Pie on the Peacock. Peacock.
Cock.
Uh, next week, in preparation for the new Superman movie coming out, which I'm watching right now. I'm watching all of the Harry Potter movies again, and right before the movie starts, they show the trailer for Superman.
It looks so good. It looks
Yeah.
so
Really?
good.
Excited. So next week we're watching Superman Returns from 2006. That's the one with Brandon
Brandon.
Roth.
Yes.
Ruth. Baby Ruth.
That's on HBO Max. Or you could rent it, Okay, good. All right, that's it for us. If you're still here, thanks for watching. I'm Frank Gaffney. Go watch a movie.
And also with you.